Asian Messiah. Nicum quinansa paitapka Asian Messiah. Antachachuia talit and atla chacha kumasku malchamas. Aitam skoloin, quetni quetnala. Then a tenth of all might hide for the tenth. Then a tenth, that's no white somitin, that's an I know aitam skoloin, quetni quetnala. Then a tenth. Haiteka to 10 means a kudinamen. Panawaya. Then a man us to something see am hide for siam. Kutan a mamma a comora, a mayo a Sophia. That's not smarten, kutan a mamma, that's not smarten, kutan a mamma. Eating quell hankaminum kan. Then misteo quell hankaminum kan. Talit an atla komasquium. Talit an atla Mali, talit an atla Sesnam, talit an atla Callahan, talit an atla Almayuk, talit an atla Slitzes, talit an atla Sanak, talit an atla Huehue, talit an atla Stopiak, talit an atla Tem Tomuk, talit an atla Skohomish Masteo, talit an atla Slewatu Masteo. Zetanos Martin, Tana Schwalapa, Zetanos Martin, Tana Masteo. A meet of Kaquilam to Snowayat Laylam to Noe. Haidaka to Eat Masteo, Haidaka to Sialako Ash. Good day, my honored and respected friends. My name is Christie Charles. My ancestral name is Chachlia, and I come from here where we are standing today, this ancient place that our people know as Musqueam. Our people have been living in this place we call Vancouver for over 10,000 years. Through oral history, archaeological evidence, or belongings, because they belong to our ancestors. They were things that we used every day. And over 10,000 years today, what I wear, what I speak, we still use it today. The language that I shared with you is Hunkaminam. I'm so thankful to our ancestors who preserved this beautiful ancient dialect, survived many dark times, and brought it forward to today, where our crew here at TEDxLangaraCollege is now wearing shirts that say Snowayat Laylam. Say it with me, Snowayat Laylam. One more time, Snowayat Laylam. Haitzepka. Snowayat Laylam means house of teachings. In 2016, my late father, Tzatzamkin Siyam, he bestowed the name Snowayat Laylam on this place we call Langara College. I do this action because if you watch the video, it's almost like he's gonna brush it all off stage. Snowayat Laylam Siyam. But I'd like to thank my father, Tzatzamkin Siyam. He passed in 2017, the day after my birthday. 5 o'clock in the morning, January 28, 2017. My father went to be with the ancestors. And it was such a beautiful time. I got to sit there with him. and see this process. And I sat there in this room with him, and I held his hand, and I spoke Hunkaminam to him. And he started to wake up. His spirit and his soul knew what I was saying. But it was such a magical time, because I could feel all our ancestors come down and surround us, and it was this beautiful, loving energy in the room. And so there it was, my father passed to the other side of the veil, to be with the ancestors, he used to say, to live for the end of days. And that is what he did. We have a creation story from our Musqueam people, and it talks about how we came from Christie, the great transformer in the sky, who sent us down as caretakers and instructors of this place. And we're so connected to the land. We make a beautiful paint called tamath that we use in our ceremonies, and within our creation story, we come from the earth and we return to the earth. And that's what my father did. We have a saying in our language called Siem. You may have heard it before. Haichka Siem. Amitsa Kukwilam Siem Siaya. Siem is a term that we use to acknowledge one another, respect and honor. But historically, it's a term, it's a lineage that we're born into. And through archaeological evidence found here at Cessnam, 70th and Granville, Jericho Beach, Mayu, Kitsilano, Sinop, Callahan, UBC, Hue, Spapiak, Stanley Park, our belongings were unearthed, and it shows that our beads from thousands of years ago were mass-produced. We were the first ones in our area to mass-produce our beads. Instead of rolling each one, we roll them out fine and then cut them. This labret piercing that I wear today shows that I come from Siem, because our ancestors, when they were unearthed, they had these beautiful jade and abalone and different types of stone labrets. And you can see the wearing in their teeth and their jaw from wearing them. And another thing that our people did in Musqueam is if we were born into Siem, this high-ranking, high-born family that we come from, we used to take cedar boards and we'd put them on our heads like this when our children were small. So as they grow, they'd have this prominent forehead. So when visitors would come to our territory, we'd sit in our house, and our Siem would sit right there. So that's who I am and where I come from, much like many Musqueam families that we have here today. So the reason why I share that with you is because we're in a time of reconciliation. I'm sure you've heard this word many, many times. And I'm sure you'll hear many Indigenous people talk about residential school. Well, I could talk about that for days and hours, but I'm so thankful that I live in this time. I'm so thankful for the women before me, the men before me, the warriors, the medicine people who carried it forward. And I can stand here today and be proud and say, hey, I'm so thankful for LangaraCollege, one of the first institutions to bestow a name alongside the English name. TEDxLangaraCollege connects us to the land, connects us to the history, connects us to the people. And actually, TEDxLangaraCollege is one of the first places to do something that is the greatest honor for our people. To dedicate a kekun, a house post, to my late father, to Tsamkin Sina. So for those of you who don't know, when you entered onto this property of LangaraCollege, you'll see in the grass and waterway there's a new house post that was carved by Red Sparrow, who is also my relation through our lineage book. But it has a woman weaver on it. She's holding a spindle wheel. So the cedar connects us to the land, the cedar paddles that I wear, the drums and the canoes and the longhouses that we live in. It all comes from the land. The women in our communities are the ones who carry the knowledge. The men are traditionally the speakers who are running around telling you what to say. But that is why he chose to create a woman in in a weaving. Smokwa is a traditional blanket that we wear for important events such as this. She's holding a spindle whorl. And the spindle whorl is what we use to spin our wool. And I'd like to thank Langara as well for most recently hosting a class with Deborah Sparrow, which I was a part of. And I got to learn traditional weaving here in this place. So heads up, go. The reason why I chose to talk about unearthing our current future, about this theme, taking the next big step, is because in our teachings as Kwelmo people, Indian people, Kumaskuya Masteo, Musqueam people of this land, everything is important. How we wear our clothes, how we carry our name. I often get asked, Christy, what does your name mean? What is Skaklia? Does it mean like spotted feather or little fawn? No, it doesn't mean either. It's who I am and where I come from. The beautiful women in my family, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who are here, future mothers, past mothers, and ones who step in to be that role. The name that I carry comes from my great aunt, Ethel Tillman. She carried the name Skaklia, and before her, my great-great-grandmother, and many beautiful women before them. So the name I carry represents not only myself, but it represents the family in which I come from, the women in which I come from. And our language is so distinct that you can tell that it comes from this very, very space where we are standing today. Our Snoweya, our teachings, our Sinew, our traditional governance, our arts and culture are all one and the same. My father comes from Musqueam, and my mother comes from Tsleil-Waututh. Tsleil-Waututh is from the Broad Inlet. When my mother married my father, they had me. And following our traditional teachings, my father passed on the name from my Musqueam women and my family and bestowed it upon me. But he also sat with my late great uncle, Andrew Charles. And he talked about how can we pass on these names, what is the way? So he took my great grandmother's name, Christie Charles the Fallamont, and he bestowed it upon my mother as a placeholder for when I have children. So now I do. I have 3 beautiful children. My eldest, Kamora Christine, and one day she will carry my name, Skaklia. My son will carry my father's name, Sitsumpkin. And my youngest daughter will carry my mother's name on behalf of my Charles family, the Fallamont. And that continues on the legacy and the teachings and brings us forward. So when my father passed away in 2017, I was very, very sad. But it was because of our cultural teachings, our ceremony, our songs, and our magical way that we make sure every little step is taken care of. I was able to continue this life with my children, to stand up and be proud and to let the sun shine into my being. That's a part of our teaching, is to rise with the sun as soon as it breaks and let the sun enter your chakras. When we grieve, we cry during the day, let it out in the light. And then at night is when we don't, we put it all away. We don't want to cry into the darkness, right? We wash our face with the water, it cleanses us. It's these very things that are very important. During my father's ceremony, I didn't eat for the week up until his final ceremony. People give me coffee, they bring me a plate, yeah, okay, thank you, and I just couldn't do it. But then when his final ceremony came and our community came together, all the families in Musqueam, they come into our home, they cook for us, they clean for us, they feed us, They go out and take care of all the little things that we need in our ceremonies. There's a sacred ceremony that I'm born into. I can't speak about it because it is a very a sacred ceremony that we still keep to our people. But within this ceremony, the way you move when you're doing the dance, the way you sing when you're singing the song, the way your regalia is tied on you, the feathers, the way they sway. Every little detail is important because it's a part of our ceremony. We're focused and we're being one. Just like any other ceremony that you see across the world that is sacred, holy, it's just the same as our ceremonies that we use to send our ancestors home. So the reason why I'm talking about all these little things is because they're all connected. Where we're sitting today, Snowaya's Laylam, House of Teachings, the language that's on the shirts that people are wearing today. The topic that we're talking about, the next big step. I'm so thankful for my people and for my ancestors for keeping these teachings and this language together so that I can bring it forward to my children and to the next generation. Since time immemorial, we are the first families who made first contact, first people of these lands, sent as instructors and caretakers, some from the skies and some from the seas, some from the rocks and some from the trees, but then some of us sent back to do the work again because this is our way. My heart is the earth and the earth is my heart. My heart is the earth and the earth is my heart. We listen to all the little birds, the crickets, the frogs, the palm, wojas, 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 the owls. They tell us when it is time. Smoke salmon, cannon, salmon, salmon, sashimi. Weavings are mathematical and scientific formulas and not just art. Yes, these weavings are mathematical and scientific formulas and not just art. Holistic health, probiotics, omega-3s, superfoods, proteins, natural nutrients from these lands, living off these lands. Plant medicine, oh how I need this plant medicine. Deer, elk, and butterflies. Cedar roots are roots since time immemorial. Amid sa Piquila. Welcome everyone to the unceded territory of the Musqueam people. Hi, Zepka.